Hey guys, Chris here. You join me here in the 2020 Polestar 2, and in today's video, I'm going to give you guys a tour of the Android Automotive OS infotainment system, which is native to this car. Yes, the Polestar 2 is the first car in the world to feature Android's own automotive operating system. And if you want to see more content on this Polestar, I've done a range challenge and also a review. I'll link those videos in the description box down below. And if you're new to the channel, guys, my name is Chris and I do car videos. So if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe down below and give this video a thumbs up. I'll also be having a timestamp down below so you guys can jump in between the gauge cluster and also the infotainment screen here in this Polestar 2. So without further ado, let's go ahead with the tour. So starting off with the digital gauge cluster, this is a 12.3-inch digital display that is just awesome. Look at this, guys. We have Google Maps in the digital gauge cluster, a first in any car. Usually you can have that on the infotainment screen with something like Android Auto or with Apple CarPlay, but now we have it in the screen of the digital gauge cluster, and it does look awesome. So down to the left here we have the gear selector. So we're now currently in park, so if I also switch the gear selector to drive, you can see that it goes into drive and also reverse, and then press the park button. Down there to the left we also have the speedo, and we also have the speed limit readout there. You can see that 40 sign. And then down below we have the odometer, and we also have all our driving as aids, our pilot assist, and also our lane keep stuff, and also the trip computer we have down there, which is trip meter TM. And then we also have some information on the right side, which is the state of charge, so, and also power, or regen and power. So you can see that bar there with a line across. If I'm just gonna put this car into drive, you can see what that looks like. If I go on the accelerator, you can see that the power bar there moves to the right in orange, and then also you can see that when I went on the brake there, we got a white bar on the left side. So that's how the power and charge state, or the regen, looks when you are driving. And also you have your state of charge all the way to the right, which is at 62%, and you also have your range down below. You have some information up top, so you have your automatic lights, you also have your wipers, which you can turn on and off, you also have the outside temperature, and you also have your parking brake, and also information about seat belt. And if I press this button here, we change the view of the digital gauge cluster. So you can see there, if I press that button, we can toggle between the different views. So this is the map view. And then we also have some information here. So you have your speedometer readout, which is bigger. So you basically have your information from the bottom left and right corner, just expands into the middle. Also, if we put something into the navigation system, we will get that in the middle there with arrows and information. I can press the button one more time, and then we get the driver aids instead of the navigation there in the middle. We get a more expansive center view there, and you can see that the information we have there on the bottom left and bottom right corners does move to the right a bit to make more room for that. So a very simple gauge cluster, which does look very, very nice indeed. I'm a huge fan of the graphics and the layout. So we have this button, which in typical Volvo fashion would be the play pause for your audio. This would be your trip computer, but this now toggles, as I said, between the different views you have between the different modes. And then this is now your trip computer. So if I press that, you get a trip computer that pops out from the side. But what is very unfortunate is if you press this button one more time to collapse that, which would be what you would think that button would do, you reset the trip computer. So I've already done that once by mistake. To close it again, you have to press this. So this to open and this to close. Which is a bit confusing. I wish they would have just done this to open and to close, and then you could just, instead of having this to reset, you could maybe use the left and right buttons to navigate. But yeah, left and right is your audio tracks, and also up and down is your volume. But I wish when you were in the board computer that they could have a different use for this. but you have a simple, clear readout there. So you have your last manually reset trip computer, and also you have on the right side your automatic trip computer that starts at the beginning of every trip. So you have your information as we can go from the top and downwards. It's our distance we've driven since reset, it's our consumption, the time we've driven, and also our average speed. And then you also have the odometer down there on the right side. Then we have the main infotainment screen, probably the reason why you guys have clicked on this video, so I can show you guys this. So this is 11 inches across, and what we have from previous Volvos was a 9.3 inch, so we have an increase of 1.7 inches, but that is huge. But at the same time, it is also set a bit more forward compared to something like an XC40, which is the same platform that this car is based on, Volvo's CMA platform. This screen just sits maybe like 5 centimeters closer to the driver, and also being larger, it is a huge improvement in size and brings it up to modern standards now in 2020. So here we have the main screen. We have 4 panes, as you can see. We have Maps, we have Google Assistant, and we also have my phone connected, and also we have Spotify, all which are native. Down here we have a home button, and then we have our HVAC controls down here. So you have your heat seaters and also your steering wheel seat heaters. Like that, and you also have your passenger. Very responsive and very cool way to resolve the climate control buttons down here. Also, you can expand this to get your more settings. You can set your fan speed manually, turn on and off your climate control. You can set your max defroster for your front and rear window. This infotainment system is in Norwegian, guys. I do apologize if you don't understand, but I'm trying to go through this as thoroughly as possible. So you also have your parking climate here, which you can set to a specific time, or you can do it via the app. And you also have your settings for the parking climate, what it does. If you wanted to set the steering wheel heater and seat heater and stuff like that. So you have a very easy and easy readout here on the settings, which is typical of, you know, an Android phone or an Android tablet. And this is what people are used to, you know, using their phones every day. This will be very familiar and very intuitive to use. So press the home button to go back home. This car also has Google Assistant. We have the voice commands on the steering wheel. I'm going to press that and see what that does. That also activates Google Assistant. And you can see, yeah.
For å gjøre det må du logge på med Google-kontoen din. Når det trygt, kan du sjekke varselet for å finne ut hvordan du logger på.
Yeah, so Google didn't understand my commands there, but you don't have to press the button. You can just say, hey Google, how many people live in Oslo?
Befolkningen I Oslo var 681 067 I 2019.
That is quite fantastic, guys. So you can actually, you have Google Assistant in your car. You just say, hey Google, kan du sette innetemperatur til 21 grader?
Greit, jeg endrer temperaturen til 21 grader.
That is very cool. So let's try that in English. Hey Google, can you please adjust the inside temperature to 22 degrees?
Beklager, jeg skjønner ikke hva du mener.
Okay, so Google Assistant didn't understand that. I don't know if I didn't say it properly or what I did, but if I use it in Norwegian, usually 90% of the prompts Google just understands right out of the box. And that is very cool indeed, because instead of the normal voice commands in a normal car where you have, you know, a specific prompt you have to give it, you can basically just ask Google for anything, which is very, very cool. Hey Google, kan du sette på setevarmetak?
Beklager, jeg kan ikke kontrollere det for bakdelen.
Okay, I said takk, not bak. Hey Google, kan du sette på setetemperaturen på førersetet?
Beklager, det forstod jeg ikke.
Okay, one more time. Hey Google, kan du sette på varmesetet?
Greit, jeg slår på varmen.
No, okay, I said that incorrectly, but you get the the gist of how Google Assistant works. You can just play around with this, and then you will get comfortable with it after a while. So very cool feature. And just driving, you can just like, hey Google, hvor mange mennesker bor det i New York?
Befolkningen i New York var 8.398.748 i 2018.
So I can imagine that you could, you know, with your family, have some trivia games on the road, and then you could just ask Google at the end, and you can get the answer without fiddling with your phone. So very cool indeed. I'm a huge fan of Google Assistant in the car. So further to the infotainment system, we have some menus up here also. So this gives you your camera. Like that, and then you also have 360 camera. You can also press the individual camera, so that gives you your reverse camera, and then you can press one more time to go into 360, and then that also gives you your front camera. You can go here for car settings. So this is your steering wheel, how hard or how this is your steering wheel settings for how light or how hard you want your steering to be. You also have ESD Sport mode, and then you have one pedal driving, so standard, low, or you can turn that off altogether, and you can also turn on creep. I like the standard one pedal driving. You also have here your driver alerts. You have your automatic or adaptive cruise control, your lane keep. You can turn that on and off. So everything is just so easy, very legible, big buttons. It's very self-explanatory. Collision avoidance, your blind spot monitoring, driver alert, and also you have your charging. You can set your charge limit if you want to set that to 80% or 100%, depending on how you want to preserve your battery. You can also go into more. You have car update or car status here. So let's go ahead and save the tire pressure, because it's been giving me a tire pressure warning. You also have your outside or your exterior lights, corner lights, active curve lights. Do you want it to do a triple blink when you hit the blinker once? You have your welcome sequence for entering and exiting the car when you lock it and unlock it. You can also do left hand or right hand drive, so you can configure the lights to give a different light pattern if you're in a country where they drive on the different side of the road. And then you also have your follow me home lights, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds. It's super easy, super explanatory. I'm a huge fan of how this works. Also the graphics. So you have your exterior mirrors, you have your windshield to put it into service mode. Your rain sensor if you wanted to remember your last setting when you exited the car. So everything you can do here. You have your locks. You have something called reduced alarm. So if you're on a ferry where the car moves about, you can turn that on, meaning that it's not so sensitive to movements. If you've ever been on a ferry with a modern Volvo, you will see that all their alarms are always set off, because people don't know about this function here. You have also your keyless access to work on all doors or only one door. Your key remote to work on the driver door or on all doors. So you have a flora of settings here. Just a lot of settings. Sorry if I misspoke there. And you can also go here to your here you can show your individual panes. So this corresponds to the menu we had here. So this is where you can, so you can't not leave anything, but you can move this around to a different pane where you want to have it, if you want to move about your settings. So that is very cool indeed. Your phone, you can have your own pane for media and radio and Google Assistant, so you can just move that around like you want. Maybe you want all your media down here, you want your car information up there, so you can just, like an Android phone or an Android tablet, you can just customize this the way you want. And then you have the Play Store, where you can download apps for this car. So they are native. So Spotify is an app. I'm not sure what apps you can use here, but you have a lot of apps which probably will also be made for this infotainment system in the future. So that will be very exciting to see in the future what type of apps will be made for this car. You also have your settings down here. And this just looks like an Android tablet setting, so this is just very, very cool. So you have your sound stage here for the infotainment system, or the speaker system, Google Assistant also, settings. So you have a lot of settings here that you can access, and it's so simple. Much more simple than my Audi e-tron, where I just don't know where things are. I just keep going through the same menus and menus, and I can't find things. This is super simple. And you also have your manual here, so you can also go to exterior. It will show you guys. Okay, so what do I have here? Here you have the frunk, gives you information on the frunk. Here you have how you adjust the mirrors. So just very simple stuff, and you can always hit the home button to go home. You also have a drop down here, so which will give you notifications. You can also access. I'm pretty sure you can access if you go into audio here, and then you could do that in other cars. You could drop this, and then you could go to audio settings. Let's see. Sorry guys. Sorry. Yeah, so you have your Spotify native here, which works exceptionally well. I'm not gonna play any music because, yeah, where I can go into no copyright sounds, and then you can play music like that. Very cool and very simple indeed, guys. And then you can scroll like that. Your next song, pause, you can favorite that. Yeah, it's so simple and so easy to use. This is just what you're used to from your phone. So I'm a huge fan of this. Up here you also have your clock. As you can see, you also have your 4G connected car, and you also have your Bluetooth connected here. PT, here you have your user profile. So Polestar test drive, this is a press car. So you can choose different profiles there. That is also synced to your Google account. So if you rent a Polestar in the future, it will remember all your settings, your climate settings, your seat settings, what you prefer, also your home addresses, and all the things like that. So guys, that was just a quick tour of the infotainment system here in the Polestar 2. So there you go, guys. That was the tour of the Android Automotive OS here in the Polestar 2. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, guys, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.